Good afternoon. This is Jim Williams with the Hurricane City Tropical Update for September 8th, 2018. The Atlantic Basin is extremely busy at this time, and I'll get to the details in just a minute, but I also wanted to mention that we've been doing streaming both live and recorded for many years at Hurricane City. In fact, back in the 1997-98 when Hurricane City was launched, we were doing only audio products. One of the first sites on the internet in general to do multimedia content in a live format. We were covering hurricanes making landfall, doing interviews in audio only. And then as the years progressed, the video platforms became available. We started doing that on our own server, which cost a whole ton of money. Then the social network video platforms came along, such as YouTube and Ustream. And now Facebook does live streaming as well. So we've decided we're going to pull all of our information off of Ustream because they're charging $99 a month now to house videos there and do live streaming. So we're pushing everything from Ustream onto the YouTube platform. And going through all that old video made me realize how many quality videos there are from the past. I mean, going all the way back to the late 90s rather. Covering hurricanes, doing interviews. We even have interviews with Dr. William Gray from years ago. All the former Hurricane Center directors, all the major hurricanes that have struck land, at least most of them anyway, a lot of different shows, a lot of storm chaser interviews and people that are popular in the weather business. So there's a whole plethora on the video archive page. You can find that by using the drop-down menus on the front page of Hurricane City and choose under multimedia, choose video archives. There's just a whole bunch of videos. They're all free to watch. Just a plethora of information from past storms and interviews, so I hope you enjoy that. But we are going to do all of our live streaming from now on, if need be, from Facebook and from the Periscope platforms on the social networks. So you can find those social networks on the above the navigation bar at Hurricane City in the actual logo. Click the Twitter or the Facebook logo, and it'll take you right to those pages when we're doing live streaming. So that's going to be the change for this year. Will we cover Florence? Probably. It looks like this is going to be a big deal, so stay tuned for any announcements on that. So here is the graphical tropical weather outlook from the National Hurricane Center in Miami. We have a disturbed area west of Bermuda, which probably won't develop. We have Tropical Storm Florence, which is going to be a hurricane soon and then probably a major hurricane over the next few days. We have Tropical Depression number 9 east of the Leeward Islands, well east of there, and that could be a threat to the islands, which would happen right around the same time as Florence is approaching the United States, which could be problematic. And we have Tropical Storm Helene out there east of the Cabo Verde Islands, and that should go north into the open Atlantic. At least that's the way it looks right now. So let's start out with the color-enhanced water vapor loop of the Atlantic Basin. This is from Colorado State University. And you can see our two systems out here, Florence and TD number 9. Helene is way out here to the east of the screen, but it's going to be moving into the North Atlantic from all indications of the models and the National Hurricane Center forecast track. So our focus is going to be mainly on Florence. We'll talk a little bit about TD number 9 as well. So let's focus first on number 9 out here. The National Hurricane Center indicates that this will become a hurricane and head toward the Lesser Antilles. And this whole area would be impacted probably around the same time that Hurricane Florence would be impacting the East Coast. So we're talking right around the 14th, give or take, somewhere in that time frame. So we're going to have two big news stories at the same time going on in the tropics. However, I'm a little bit skeptical of the hurricane call for this area because of all this dry air. Look at all the dry air that's setting up out here in front of this system, and I just don't think things are very favorable. In fact, the European model and the GFS model are indicating that somewhere in here it's going to be a tropical storm, not a hurricane. So I'm not sure where the Hurricane Center is thinking this will become a hurricane. I know there's a lot of warm sea surface temperatures out here, and the shear isn't real bad, but there's still a lot of dry sinking air out here, so I don't know that that's quite going to happen. We'll have to see. That's why they get paid the good money at the National Hurricane Center to make these kind of calls. But nevertheless, if you live in the Lesser Antilles, now's a good time to go to the stores, get what you need, get your supplies, because beginning of the week, they're going to ratchet up all the media coverage on this, and it's going to be pandemonium in all the stores. So especially these areas that are still recovering from Hurricane Irma last year, Antigua, Barbuda, St. Martin, these are areas that could be impacted by what would become Tropical Storm and eventually Hurricane Isaac. Now, the UK Met wants to take it up like this, so we'll see what happens. The UK Met is a very good model, and that has it curving, but again, the GFS and the Euro take it into the Caribbean Sea where it remains weak, and then head over somewhere in this area. We'll have to keep an eye on, but we have a long time to keep track of TD number 9. All indications from the models and the National Hurricane Center is that Florence should be somewhere in this region right in here going out Tuesday and Wednesday of next week as a major hurricane. So my eyes are trained over here to the northwest of the next trough in the western United States that's moving across. This is a 24-hour loop, so if you extrapolate that into the future and use a measuring device, the trough would be probably anywhere from over here to over here at that time and point in time, which would erode any kind of a high pressure ridge that's built to the north just enough to give this a little nudge to the north and then eventually send it off to the northeast. The question is, how close is it going to come to the coast when this happens? Now, again, the European and the Canadian model want to take it in like this respectively and then make the turn. So those models are thinking we're going to have a little bit of a weaker system going more south and then making the turn a little bit later, whereas the GFS is indicating that this is going to be making more of a turn like this and being stronger. In fact, the last GFS run that just came in keeps it just off the coast and off to the northeast. Actually has it going south a little bit and then off to the northeast. So what's going to happen in all likelihood is we're looking at a situation where the trough bypasses it real quick, leaves enough of a weakness here. The question is, does the high build back in and push it, keep it along the coast or push it south, or does it allow it to just turn off to the northeast? Now here is a screenshot of the frame on the front page of Hurricane City with the tracking map usually shown on this image. Right now I happen to have the Tropical Depression number 9 discussion up on the screen, but right below here you click on Florence Best Track, and that will open up all the model data, best track information on Hurricane Florence, what will become Hurricane Florence. Now what I like to do is click this box right here, which is the average error rate of all of the models, and that opens up the page with the listing of all the models and how they're performing. Now what I also like to do is use the average error heat map and then hit display, and that will display the color-coded ranking of the models and how they're performing, and this is out of about 150 different model runs. But the darker the green is over here to the right, for example, the AEMI has been a very good model on Hurricane Florence. Those kinds of the dark color greens are the best performers, and if we scroll down here, you can see the Canadian ensembles. They're like not really any color in particular. Here are the Europeans, and believe it or not, the European model is usually the best of all the models. In this case with Florence, it's struggling a little bit, and there's quite a bit of pinks and reds in here. Now, that doesn't mean that the the European model won't improve over the next several days and become the best performer over the next several days. It just means that right now, the European model is not performing very well on this, which leads me to lean toward the GFS because the AVNO, let me show it to you up here. There's the AVNO right here, and that is showing a very good track record, off by 96.5 miles at 5 days. So the GFS, which was called the AVNO, is now the GFS, is the best performer on the mainstream models. Now, there's all kinds of different other models that are performing better than the aviation model / GFS, but the GFS is outperforming the Euro model. That's why I wanted to show you these heat maps. And then, of course, you come down here and you look at the EGGR model, which is the UK Met model, which is another very good model. It's average. It's right here, 177. Not bad, not good, just kind of in the middle, and that's more the southerly track for Hurricane Florence. And let's look at the Canadian, which is also has more of a southerly track. Again, average, not doing particularly well, not doing particularly bad, just kind of average. But that aviation / GFS model is the one that's really catching my attention for track accuracy and the AEMN. Now, if you wanted to track where these models are going to go, you put the models on a Google map, and let's go with AEMI just for kicks, because that is a very good performing model, and that tends to take it up towards the eastern North Carolina area. And let's go with the AVNO, the operational model. And again, this is from the last run, which is of the 12Z models. Let's go with the AVN operational model. And where is it here? Yeah, there it is, AVNO, and there we go. Now you can zoom this map in, and there's your tracks of the best performers, generally taking it up in the direction of the Outer Banks of North Carolina. And that leads me to the main map at Hurricane City, and that will show you the forecast cones from the National Hurricane Center, along with the best performing models inside of the cone. And there it is, my featured city, Morehead City, North Carolina, the red blinking light. You can get all the localized information from that area, but as of now, that's the city that I'm focusing on. Again, this could shift north or it could shift south depending on the future forecast track from the National Hurricane Center. But right now, my thinking on this is going to be an eastern North Carolina storm and then potentially out to sea. That can change. It's just my opinion. I'm one person. Pay attention to the National Hurricane Center future forecast track. But right now, that's my thinking, eastern North Carolina. Anyway, that's it for now. I will be back maybe with another update tomorrow. We'll see what happens with the evolution of Florence. But again, we have these other systems out there. What I would recommend, and I'm telling this to everybody that lives in the mid-Atlantic states, if you're in South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, get ready, act as though it's coming, because even if it comes in, let's just say hypothetically, it comes into the south and then goes north, you're still going to get it up in here. You're still going to get it in Virginia and in North Carolina. Even up in the Northeast, it's going to get up in this area at some point in time. So now is your time. If you live along the East Coast, get everything ready, go to the store, get all your supplies. Next week, the media coverage is going to be through the roof, and it's going to be hard to get supplies. So anyway, that's it for now. Just to let you know future plans, we will potentially be doing some broadcasting on this system as it comes closer to the United States early next week sometime. But right now, everybody just try to relax. Get your supplies now. Try to get all the stress out of the way now so that when the hurricane approaches next week, you're all ready to go and you have one less thing to worry about other than the hurricane itself. All right, that's it for now. Thank you for watching. I'm Jim Williams. We'll be back with another update video in a day or two. Thank you for watching.